At 13, I used to think my sister Patricia was perfect. She was 17, popular, had a ton of friends, and had this boyfriend Jake, who everyone thought was really cool. I wanted to be like her when I got to high school. Then Jake dumped her. I heard them fighting out in the driveway. He yelled something about some Zoe having a better figure and Patricia letting herself go. She came inside crying so hard she could barely breathe. That night, she ate very little at dinner. When Mom asked if she's feeling okay, she shrugged, saying she just needs to sleep. But around midnight, I could hear her in the washroom, puking. After that, it started happening more often. Patricia would eat dinner with us, but moments later, she'll go up and puke it all out. One time I asked her if she's having any health issues. She strictly warned me to stay out of her life. I told Mom, but she said we should all give Patricia some space. The breakup had upset her, and it takes time when you are young to cope up with a heartbreak. I wish Mom took all this more seriously. One night, I was up late working on this science project I had to finish by morning. Taking a small break, I stepped downstairs to grab a snack when I heard whispers from the basement. The voice sounded like my sister's. The basement door was cracked open. I could see candlelight flickering. I pushed it and looked down the steps. Patricia was kneeling on the concrete with candles all around her in a circle. Her face looked like straight out of a horror movie. She had drawn an upside-down cross on her face with a black marker. There were weird symbols on the wall, drawn in what looked like red paint. A white bowl sat in front of her. She was eating raw meat from it. I could tell because it was shiny and wet in the candlelight, and her hands were covered in blood. "Patricia?" I whispered, horrified. Slowly she turned her head and looked at me. Her eyes were sunken way back in her skull, with these dark circles underneath. Her cheeks were hollow, and she'd gotten so skinny she didn't even look like Patricia anymore. "Matthew," she smiled, flashing the red-stained teeth. "You shouldn't be here." "What are you doing?" "What is that?" "I'm making myself perfect." She looked back at the bowl. "Fixing what's wrong with me." "What? That's raw meat. Have you totally lost it? Raw meat changes your body faster than anything else. I found these people online who only eat this, and their bodies transform in weeks." She picked up another piece and started chewing loudly. Blood dripped down her wrist. I ran back upstairs, shook Mom and Dad awake and told them everything. They went down to the basement, and I heard yelling. They dragged Patricia upstairs. She fought them the whole way, trying to get back down there. Dad had to physically carry her while she clawed at his arms and face. "Let me go! I'm not finished. I have to finish the ritual." They locked her in her bedroom. I could hear her slamming herself against the door, sobbing and begging them to let her complete it. Mom called a crisis hotline. The hotline staff advised us to bring her to the hospital first thing in the morning. I tried going back to sleep, but couldn't. Around 3 a.m., my door flew open so hard it hit the wall. Patricia stood in the doorway. She'd somehow gotten out. The light from my window caught her eyes, and they looked completely insane. "You told them," she hissed. "You ruined everything." "Patricia, listen. You're sick. You need help. I need to be perfect." She lunged at my bed, and that's when I saw the knife in her hand, one of the big ones from Mom's kitchen. "You're trying to stop me from being perfect." I threw myself off the bed just as the knife came down. It ripped through my pillow, through the sheets, and right into the mattress. "Patricia, please, stop!" She came at me again. I tried to block her, but the blade cut into my forearm. The pain was instant and horrible. I screamed. Blood started pouring out, running down my arm, dripping onto the carpet. "You ruined it!" She was sobbing now, raising the knife again. "They're going to send me away. I'll never finish and be good enough." The door crashed open. Dad tackled Patricia from the side. They both hit the floor hard. The knife skidded under my dresser. Mom was screaming, running to me, and pressed a cloth against my arm. Dad was trying to hold Patricia down, but she kept fighting, scratching and biting. It took 2 paramedics and a police officer to restrain her. They had to sedate her right there on my bedroom floor. Even after the shot kicked in and her body went limp, her lips kept chanting those weird words from the basement. I needed 12 stitches. The scar is thick and raised. It runs from my elbow halfway down to my wrist. Patricia's been in a psychiatric hospital for 2 months now. The doctors told us she had a complete psychotic break. The breakup triggered insecurities, and she spiraled into extreme body dysmorphia. That forum she found was a pro-anorexia site mixed with occult rituals. It was convincing vulnerable girls that starving themselves and performing these ceremonies would make them perfect. She'd been eating nothing but raw chicken and beef for weeks. The doctor said another few days, and the malnutrition or food poisoning would have killed her. Mom cries constantly. Dad barely talks anymore. I visit Patricia sometimes, but she doesn't recognize me. She just stares at the walls and whispers about perfection. Jake's still with Zoe. They post happy couple photos on Instagram like nothing happened. Like his words didn't destroy my sister's entire life. The doctors say Patricia might get better eventually, but she won't be the same person again. I'd struggled with my weight my whole life. So when I saw an ad for Peak Performance Gym promising life-changing transformations in 90 days, I signed up instantly. The gym was small, tucked in a strip mall between a nail salon and a pizza place. Nothing fancy, but it was cheap and close to my apartment. That's where I met Mark, my trainer. He was tall, fit, and had an easy vibe. During our first session, he spent an hour asking about my goals, habits, and schedules. "You're going to do great, Lila," he said, hand on my shoulder. "You showed up, and that's what matters." It felt nice having someone believe in me. The training started normal. Mark pushed me hard, but knew when to back off. He'd text every morning with motivation and meal plan reminders. Then he started checking in during the day, asking how I felt, if I'd eaten enough protein, and if I was drinking water. "You're doing amazing," his texts would say. "I'm so proud of you." After 2 weeks, I'd lost 5 pounds. After a month, 10. I was seeing results, and Mark was always there. But the compliments shifted. Great form became, "You look really good in those leggings." Nice work turned into, "You have no idea how beautiful you are." He also started training me later, when fewer people were around. "We can focus better without distractions," he said. Then, one night, he pulled out a container of pills during our session. "Special supplements," he said. "I don't give these to everyone, but you're ready for the next level. They'll speed up fat loss, boost metabolism. You'll see results twice as fast." I hesitated. What's in them? It's totally herbal and safe. I take them myself, he smiled. Trust me, Lila. When have I steered you wrong? I took the bottle home and started taking it the way he'd told me. Mark was a professional. He cared about me. Why would he give me something bad? Within a week, I felt light, a bit jittery at times, but I really felt energized. Then, 2 nights later, I was finishing a late session. It was almost 10 p.m. and the gym was empty except for us. Mark had convinced me to stay late for one final push before your weigh-in tomorrow. I have something new for you, he said, pulling out a purple sports drink. Metabolism booster. You drink it before bed, it works while you sleep, burns fat overnight. Really? But I think I'm doing just fine with those supplements you've... Lila. His voice went slightly cold. Do you want results or not? I'm giving you premium supplements that cost hundreds of dollars for free. The least you can do is trust my expertise. Guilt crashed over me. He'd been so good to me, spent so much time. I was being ungrateful. Okay, sorry. That's my girl. Drink up. I took the bottle and sipped. It tasted wrong, bitter underneath the fake grape flavor. I drank about half before my head got heavy. Mark, I feel weird. That's normal. Blood sugar's probably low. Come, sit down. He guided me toward the mats in the back corner, away from the windows and the front desk. My vision was blurry. The lights seemed to pulse. Just lie back and relax, Mark said. His voice sounded far away. We'll do some stretches. This helps the supplement absorb. I tried to sit up, but my arms felt like lead. I think I need to go home. Shh, it's okay. Close your eyes. I've got you. His hand was on my ankle, moving up my calf. The touch felt wrong. Mark, stop! You're so tense. Just relax, Lila. I tried to push his hand away, but could barely move. My body wasn't working. I couldn't even scream. Mark was leaning closer. His hands were all over me. My eyes were nearly closed when suddenly I heard a bang, like someone had kicked a door open. There were heavy footsteps of several people. Don't move! Step away from her now! Everything happened fast. Mark jumped back, hands up. 2 cops rushed over. A woman from the gym was with them with her phone out. I got it all, officer. The drink, everything he said, how he touched her. A female officer knelt next to me. Can you hear me? We're getting help. The ambulance came. They ran tests and found rohypnol in the drink, the date rape drug. The supplements were dangerous stimulants that had been messing up my system for weeks. The woman who saved me was Rachel. She'd been at the gym for 3 months and noticed Mark's pattern. She'd been documenting everything and had followed me that night because she had a bad feeling. I should have said something sooner, Rachel told me at the hospital. I wasn't sure. Didn't want to cause trouble if I was wrong. But when I saw him pull out that drink, you saved my life, I said. Mark got arrested that night. The investigation found 5 other women he'd assaulted over 2 years. Women who were too ashamed or scared to say anything. Women who thought they were the only ones, that maybe they misread things, that maybe they deserved it. I pressed charges. 3 of the others did too, once they knew they weren't alone. Mark got 12 years. That was 6 months ago. I still go to therapy twice a week. I work out at home now. Had to get a new phone number because I couldn't look at those old texts without feeling sick. Some nights, I still wake up tasting that purple drink, feeling his hand on my body and hearing him mumble, "Trust me." I don't know what the takeaway is supposed to be. Don't trust trainers. Don't try to be the right shape. Be paranoid about everyone? All I know is, some woman paid attention when I didn't. She noticed things I missed because I wanted so badly to believe an illusion. I don't have nightmares about what happened. I have nightmares about what almost happened. And that's worse somehow. At 23, my life was pretty ordinary. I had a decent job, good friends, and Holly, my poodle, who thought I hung the moon. I was around 200 pounds. Some days I felt fine about it, other days not so much. Then my sister got engaged and asked me to be her maid of honor. The wedding was in 6 months, and I wanted to look good in the photos, so I decided to start small. Morning walks with Holly before work. That winter morning was my third try. The first 2 times I gave up after 10 minutes, but this time felt different. The frost made everything look clean. Holly walked next to me, her leash jingling, and for the first time in a while I felt relaxed. We'd been out maybe 20 minutes when I saw some guy near an adjacent alley to the sidewalk. He was crouched by a fire in a metal drum. The flames made his face look strange and waxy. His clothes were torn and filthy, hanging off him like rags. I thought of turning around, but then shrugged it off and told myself I was being paranoid. He was probably some homeless guy trying to stay warm. My next thought was to walk past him before he noticed me. But as I took a couple of steps, he looked up. His mouth stretched into a slow, wide grin. His yellow teeth were illuminated by the firelight. "Morning," he said, voice rough and oddly cheerful. I nodded and tried to walk past quickly, pulling Holly closer. But he stood up and blocked the sidewalk. "That's a nice dog." He stepped toward us. "Real nice. What's its name?" Holly started growling low in her throat, sensing a threat. "We have to go," I said, trying to move around him. He moved with me. Then he reached for Holly. "Let me see her." "No, He grabbed Holly's leash and yanked it out of my hand. Holly yelped and tried to back away, but he pulled her toward him and then toward the fire. "Hey! Stop! What are you doing?" He laughed, this dry, rasping sound. "What a perfect meal. Gonna roast you slow and crispy. Been hungry for days." He picked Holly up by her scruff. She was snarling now, snapping at his hands. Her legs were thrashing wildly. He held her over the flames, and I could see the heat starting to singe her fur. I screamed and rushed at him. Holly twisted and bit down hard on his wrist. He dropped her, screaming in pain. I didn't think. I just kicked him in the shin as hard as I could, scooped Holly up, and ran. "You witch!" His voice echoed behind me. I heard his footsteps, heavy boots pounding the pavement. He was coming after me. "You can't outrun me, girl!" His voice was getting closer. "Look at you!" "You're already slowing down." He was right. My lungs were burning after half a block. My legs felt like they weighed a ton. Holly was shaking in my arms, whimpering. My house was 3 blocks away. I wasn't going to make it. But I kept going anyway. I had to. If I stopped, he'd take Holly and throw her in that fire. I saw a pile of construction gravel on the corner. Without thinking, I grabbed a handful of rocks and hurled them behind me. I heard him curse as one hit. It bought me maybe 5 seconds to catch my breath. 1 block down. My vision was going spotty. My chest felt like it was being crushed. But Holly's heartbeat was pounding against my ribs, and I forced my legs to keep moving. I grabbed more rocks at the next corner, threw them wild, and heard him stumble. "Come back here!" His voice was farther away now, out of breath too. I was 2 blocks down. Sweat was pouring down my face. My lungs felt like they were on fire. Every breath was a fight. I was nearly sobbing. Then I saw my building. Relief hit me so hard I almost stumbled. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped my keys. But I got the door open, stumbled inside, and slammed it shut. My legs gave out, and I collapsed against it with Holly still in my arms. Through the window, I saw him stop halfway down the block. He stood there for a couple of minutes before he turned and walked away, laughing and skipping like it had all been some sick game. I sat on my floor for an hour holding Holly and crying. Called the cops, but they said without injuries or a better description they couldn't do much. They told me to be careful walking alone. That should have ended it. Should have sent me straight back to hiding in my apartment. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. That guy was right. I was slow. I struggled. But I still outran him when it mattered most. And I realized something that morning. I didn't need to lose weight to look good in wedding photos. I needed to be strong enough to protect myself and those who mattered. So I kept walking. I also joined a kickboxing basics class at the gym near my work. It's brutal. I pant after 5 minutes. Sometimes I get so dizzy I have to sit down. Once, I actually passed out during warm-ups and woke up to the instructor fanning me with a towel. But you know what? I'd rather pass out in a gym surrounded by people than on a street where some psycho can grab my dog or do worse to me. I carry pepper spray too, just in case, and take different routes. I'm learning how to throw a proper punch and how to use my weight as an advantage instead of a weakness. My sister's wedding is in 2 weeks. My transformation ain't miraculous. I probably won't look that different in the photos, but I can run 3 blocks without stopping now. I can throw a decent hook. I can defend myself. And yeah, I still have bad days. Days when I'm exhausted and sore and wondering why I'm putting myself through this. But then I look at Holly, alive and safe, curled up on my couch, and I remember that my body worked when I wanted it to. It saved something I love.